Good morning, children. Today we're going to do an iReady lesson like we did with central IDs and summarizing text. We're going to summarize informational text, which is what we've been doing a lot with the articles of the week. We've also been doing a little summarizing with Bridge Terabithia and some other things. But today we are going to do this assignment. This is one of these that you're going to listen to me read the video, and then we're going to summarize. We're going to write all of this together as a class, and I'm going to go around and check that you are doing what I'm doing, that you're annotating the document with me, and I'll give you your points. So, again, since I can use these videos perpetually, good. You just go into a certain week that I have them. We're going to click on the iReady 2.1 summarizing. I'm going to hit view. I would suggest you do the same. And here is the text, which I will read. Summarizing informational text. When you give a summary of an informational text, you briefly restate in your own words the text's central idea and its most important details, which again, we've done with the articles of the week. Read the text below. After you read it, locate and underline its central idea. The emerald ash borer, EAB, is an invasive pest that is threatening ash trees in the eastern United States. Native to parts of Asia, EABs were likely brought to the United States in the wood of shipping crates or packing materials used in international shipping. The insect was identified in 2002 by scientists in Michigan who are investigating the widespread death of native ash trees. EAB larvae live under the bark of ash trees and feed on the trunk, cutting off the flow of water and nutrients that the tree needs to live. See, now we can complete the chart below. It'll help you figure out the most important details included in the summary of the text. The emerald ash borer, EAB, is an insect that came from the United States from, we'll look back at the text. When EAB larvae feed on ash trees, they cut off the trees blank. The feeding habits of the EAB are causing blank. And then summary, the emerald ash borer is an insect that came from the United States from Asia. When the larvae of this insect feed on ash trees, they cut off the tree's water and nutrients, killing them. A summary should only state what the text says, not the reader's opinion, your personal ideas, which some of you did when we've done IVF summaries. Read this draft of a summary about the emerald ash borer. Cross out any opinions. The emerald ash borer is an annoying pest that destroys ash trees by feeding on their trunks. The EAB came from Asia, probably in shipping crates, and I wish they'd go back there. When summarizing a text, put its central idea and most important details in your own words. It's a great way to make sure you understand what you're reading. Next page, page 12. Yeah. We're going to read the first two paragraphs of a scientific account about food chain. Snakes' place in the food chain by Anna Axtell. Many people consider snakes to be pests, but snakes are a vital part of the food chain, as all organisms on Earth, as are all organisms on Earth. See, somebody would mess up on dibbles as well. A change within a food chain affects all of the organisms in that food chain. Consider the following food chain, which can be found throughout the United States. Acorn is eaten by mouse. Mouse is eaten by snake. Snake is eaten by hawk. The acorn is a seed of a producer, an organism, an oak tree in this case, that makes its own food from the sun. We call that photosynthesis. Shut up, Tig. Yes, sir. The second link is a primary consumer, an organism that eats producers. The snake and the hawk are secondary and tertiary consumers, also called predators. They eat other animals. That would be a good word to do a Freyer model on, which we are going to do as well. Explore how to answer this question. How can I best summarize this part of the scientific account? The author provides a central idea and details. Identifying them and summarizing or restating in your own words will help you understand and remember the information. Reread the account above and do the following. Find and underline the central idea, which we'll do as a class after I've read everything. Circle the 3 most important details. Then examine the summary below and cross out the opinion statement. Snakes, like all organisms, are a vital link in the food chain, and even though I think they are pests, I hate them too. In a snake's food chain are acorns producers, mice primary consumers, and hawks. I'm going to have to look up how to say that word. I think it's tertiary. We're going to look that up right now.
Tertiary.
Tertiary. Okay. All right. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Tertiary. Explain to a partner what you crossed out and why. Then take turns summarizing this part of the account without including any opinions or judgments. Now, we're going to continue reading connections in a food chain. Use the close reading and hint to help you answer the questions. Close reading. Underline the sentence that states the central idea. Hint. Which choice restates the central idea but does not include opinions? If the snake population changes, other changes occur up and down the food chain. If the snake population increases, more snakes eat more mice. Fewer mice are left to eat acorns, so perhaps more acorns grow into oak trees. In addition, more snakes would mean more food for the hawks, or consider the alternative. If the snake population decreases, the mouse population would increase. More mice would eat more acorns, so fewer oak trees would grow. And the hawk population without snakes to hunt might decrease as well. Changing one link in the food chain affects all the other links, even in just a small way. So what's the summary? Which of the following best summarizes the entire scientific account? A, some people think that snakes are pests, but snakes are part of the food chain. They eat mice, which are real pests. B, hawks are fiercest predators in the food chain. They hunt snakes, keeping the snake population from getting too high. C, a changing snake population would affect hawks. They would have less to eat, so there would be less hawks. D, snakes play an important role in a complex food chain. Their population size affects the number of mice, hawks, and oak trees. Then we're going to look at the answer. We're going to look at one of the answers we did not choose and explain why it's not a good summary. We're going to skip to find an answer that includes an opinion. Now let's we're going to read this scientific article using Study Buddy and close reading to guide our reading, and then we're going to answer those questions together in class. I'm going to look for big ideas that have to do with food webs. I'll underline those big ideas when I find them. That will help me determine the author's central idea. Close reading. What food chain does paragraph 3 describe? Underline the plant and animals in that chain. Each paragraph gives an example of a food chain in a different ecosystem. Circle the name of each ecosystem. From Food Web from National Geographic. Food webs connect many different food chains and many different trophic levels. Food webs can support food chains that are long and complicated or very short. For example, grass in a forest clearing produces its own food through photosynthesis. A rabbit eats the grass. A fox eats the rabbit. When the fox dies, decomposers such as worms and mushrooms break down its body, returning it to the soil where it provides nutrients for plants like grass. This short food chain is one part of the forest food web. Another food chain in the same ecosystem might involve completely different organisms. A caterpillar may eat the leaf on a tree in a forest. A bird such as a sparrow may eat the caterpillar. A snake may then prey on the sparrow. An eagle, an apex predator, may prey on the snake. A hawk, another apex predator, may prey on the eagle. Yet another bird, a vulture, consumes the body of the dead hawk. Finally, bacteria in the soil decompose the remains. In a desert ecosystem, an autotroph such as a cactus produces fruit. Herbivorous insects such as flies consume the cactus fruit. Birds such as roadrunners consume these insects. I'm going to have to look this word up too. Detritivores, well, I'm going to look that one up too, such as termites, eat the roadrunner after it dies. Bacteria and fungi help decompose the remaining bones of the roadrunner. The carbon on the bones enrich the desert soil, helping plants like cactuses develop. So I need to look up that one word. Oh, no. Wrong button. Detritivore. All right, did it again. All right, let me go back. No, I can't find where I was now. Detritivore. So, which choice tells the central idea of the article? Which of the following best states the central idea? A, both long and short food chains make up a food web. B, food webs connect different food chains and trophic levels. C, food webs consist of many different food chains, the shortest of which involves grass, rabbits, foxes, and decomposers. D, the food chain that makes a food web stay in balance naturally as long as humans don't interfere. Which choice tells the paragraph's central idea without an opinion? 2, which statement best summarizes the central idea and important details of paragraph 3? A, a forest food chain that includes leaves, caterpillars, sparrows, snakes, eagles, hawks, vultures, and bacteria is one of the longest in the ecosystem. B, one forest food chain begins with caterpillars eating leaves, then birds, snakes, and larger birds eat each other. Finally, bacteria in the soil decompose the remains. C, a forest food chain starts with trees, leaves, and caterpillars. Birds eat the caterpillars and are eaten by snakes. The chain continues until a vulture eats a disgusting food thing. D, one ecosystem may have many different food chains. One example of a food chain in a forest involves leaves, caterpillars, sparrows, snakes, eagles, hawks, vultures, and bacteria. And then, what's the central idea of the whole article? What important details does each paragraph give? As a class, we're going to write a brief summary of the article, and we're going to include at least 2 details from the text in your summary. Since we may not have enough lines, I'll probably skip over, and we're going to write all that together. As always, pirates, if you have any questions, please message me on Schoolology, or please email me. Thank you very much, pirates, and have a super sparkly day.